bisecting a line, an angle, and from a point with perpendiculars is what we're looking at in this video. So split into 3 parts. First, we're going to look at how do you bisect a straight line to draw a perpendicular, how do you bisect a line with a point to draw a perpendicular, and how do you bisect an angle. So the way we're going to do this work, I'm going to do the example on the left, which is I do. You are then going to press pause and have a go at the example on the right, which is you do. So in this example here, we've been asked to find the perpendicular bisector of the line AB. What on earth does that mean? So we've got this line AB and it's a draw perpendicular line that is exactly halfway. So that's the key bit here. It needs to be exactly halfway. Now, how do you find the exact halfway point of a line? You can use a compass to do that. So if I grab my compass, I'm going to put 1 point on A. And then when I extend the compass, so it's beyond halfway. So halfway is there. Anywhere beyond halfway, you can put it. So I'm going to put it there. Then I'm going to rotate my compass. And I'm going to put a line down here. Like this, I'm going to draw a curve. And I'm going to do the same at the top as well. Okay, then you're going to keep the compass open the exact same amount. This is key here now. You do not want to change how the angle of the compass. So I'm going to move the compass to B. And now I'm going to do the exact same thing here. I'm going to draw that same line there. And I'm going to draw that same line up here. Oops, let me just undo that. Draw that same line here. Now get rid of the compass. Now you've got the 2 lines. All you need to do is grab a ruler, join them together. And that is exactly how you find the halfway point of a straight line. And that is how you draw a perpendicular bisector. Now it is a little bit tricky with the ruler on the iPad. So I might not be able to get this perfectly going through the 2 points because the ruler's just a little bit awkward to work with here. So that might be the best I can do with the ruler on the iPad. So there we go. We end up with something like that. And that is how you find the exact halfway point and bisect the line. Bisect just means cut in half. So hopefully you've pressed pause and had a go at the example on the right. I have linked these slides in the comments down below so you can print them off, which you need to do. Print them off and work with me. So again, hopefully you've got your compass. You put it on the end and then you open the compass just so it's halfway, just so it's beyond halfway. So if I put that there, and halfway would roughly be there. So if I go just beyond halfway, that would look something like this. So now if I just rotate that, draw my curves here, and do the same at the top. And if I then take this, put it on this edge here, and again, if I just rotate that, and rotate that, and do the same thing here. Now that's that done. That can go. All I need to do is get a ruler, draw a straight line that passes through them 2 points. So if I grab my pen tool, straight line through, move the ruler out of the way, and that is that done. Now it's important that you leave these construction lines on. Do not rub anything off. You must have, it says there, you must show all your construction lines. You have to show them to get the marks. So here's some practice questions. Press pause and have a go. Here are the answers. Mark your work. And now moving on, we are now asked to do the exact same thing at point C. So it's saying use a ruler and a compass to construct a perpendicular at point C. And that all that's saying is they want you to draw a straight line down like this at point C. Okay, but they want you to do that using a ruler and a compass. So the way you do that is you would grab your compass, you would put the point on C, you would open the compass. Now it doesn't matter how much you're opening, but it does matter on this side because you don't want to open it so it goes that far out because the line doesn't go till there. So if you start with this side, let's say you open it that much, you want to leave the opening the same. Make sure you don't change the angle. Oh, let me just make sure that goes all the way. No, let me just do that. Turn it to circle. So why is it doing that there? It wasn't doing that before. There we go. So we've got that there. Turn that. Mark it on here too. And now what you want to do is you want to take this and move it onto one of the curves. And then you want to open it so it's beyond point C. And then you want to draw your curve like we did before. And draw your curve here like we did before. And then again, same thing here. Take that here, put it there. Now it's going to be a little bit tricky to draw that perfect on the iPad because of how the pen tool works. But so there we go. And once you've done that, grab your ruler, draw a line straight through point C that passes through that. And you can see that is pretty much perfect, to be honest. And it's a bit tricky to do it on the iPad, but there we go. So it's a perpendicular line that passes through point C, and we've used compasses and a ruler to accomplish that. And those markings must stay on there, like I said before. So hopefully you've pressed pause and had a go at this example here. So you're going to put your compass there. I would always measure from the shorter side. So the shorter side is to end. Put the arc there, turn it, make sure you do not change the angle of the compass. put it there. Now move the compass so it's on the arc, and again rotate it so it's beyond O. So let's put it there. Let's draw a curve down here. Let's just draw a little bit longer. Let's go up here. Let's draw a curve. Oh, let me just undo that. I accidentally changed how much it's open by. Let's draw one there. And let's take it here and do the exact same thing. Let's draw that there. Let's draw one here. Now that that's done, move that out of the way, get your ruler, put it in. So get my ruler, needs to pass through that point. It's a perpendicular straight line through, and that again is perfect. So move that out of the way, and that is what your final answer should look like. So here's some practice questions. Press pause now and have a go. Here are the answers, mark your work. And now moving on, we have a point which is not on the line now. Now how do you work with that? So again, it's saying draw a perpendicular from point P to the line B. So it's basically saying draw a line that looks like this. It goes from point B straight down through this line, but it's saying use a compass and protractor. So that bit's key, yeah? So they're expecting us to show the markings and stuff. So firstly, put it on point P. Then rotate your compass so it can pass through 2 points on here. Okay, so make sure it's wide enough. Make sure it's not this small, because if it's this small, it's not really passing through the line. So make sure it's big enough to pass through 2 points on that line. And it's not too wide that it just passes, it just misses it on this side. So that seems wide enough to me. So I'm going to mark that point there. Oh, let me just undo that. And I'm going to mark that point there. Now I'm going to put it on the arc, and you know what we're doing from here, the usual stuff. So we're going beyond halfway, and that already looks like it's beyond halfway to me. So don't really need to do much there. So draw an arc here. If I go up here, I can just draw my arc there. And then again, just move it to this side and do the exact same thing here. So that there, move it out the way, come in, put that there, so it's going to pass through point P. And like I said before, it's a little bit tricky to do this perfectly on the iPad. So draw a straight line through there. And let me just go like this, move that out of the way, and that is almost perfect. So hopefully you've pressed pause and had a go at the example on the right. So we're going to put the compass on point P there. Make sure it's open wide enough to pass through 2 points. Yeah, that seems fine. In fact, like I said, a little bit more. There we go. Oh, that's probably a bit too much. Put that there. There's that one. Rotate. There's that one. And then take the compass, put it on this bit here. Open it a bit smaller, put it in there, open that a bit more, put it through there, and then turn that, and then put that, oh, what am I doing? That wasn't supposed to go there. That's supposed to go here, there, and one arc there, and move the compass on this side, and then put it there, and there, and then there. And then get your ruler and then put that there and straight line through it. That is more or less perfect. There we go. So that is what that should look like. So here's some practice questions. Press pause now and have a go. Here are the answers. Mark your work. And now moving on, we are bisecting an angle. And bisecting an angle, all that's saying is half the angle. So we've got this angle here, and it's saying draw a line that exactly halves this angle. So the way we do that is we're going to grab a compass, put that on this angle here, and then yeah, it doesn't matter how much you've got it open, so mark a point there, keep it open the same amount, mark a point there, then move it onto one of these, and then mark a point here, and then move it onto one of these, and then just put one through there, and then grab your ruler, rotate that, put that there. It needs to pass through this and this. Now it can be a bit tricky here to rotate the ruler perfectly because it's on the iPad, so I'm going to do the best I can without taking too long. That is still not perfect. That might be close enough. No. But yeah, it's going to be a line that passes straight through with a ruler like so. Like I said, it's hard to get this perfect on the iPad, but that is what it would look like there. So hopefully you have pressed pause and had a go at the example on the right. So with this example on the right, again, you would have got your compass, you'd put it on the end here, you would have marked 2 points, like one there, and then rotate that, and then one there, and then take it to that point, and then make a marking there, and then take it to this point, and then make a marking like that there. Now go to the compass, bring your ruler in, and with your ruler, you're just going to draw a straight line that passes from the angle straight through there, and that is how you bisect an angle. And remember, the word bisect just means to half, so we're just finding half of this angle perfectly with a compass and a ruler. So take your pencil, put it straight through there, and again, that is pretty much perfect there. So here's some practice questions. Press pause now and have a go. Here are the answers. Mark your work. If you would like some more practice, I've got a full worksheet link down in the comments below, and if you found this video useful, I've got loads of other content. Do check it out.